So, in conclusion, this week, while Russia is busily trying to rope in China and the Axis and Saudi and Iran, there's another one that's in play, which is important to note, which is written by C. Raja Mohan. He says the new Warsaw Pact. Long weary of Russian expansionism, Central Europe is now building regional alliances, with Poland often acting as a linchpin to counter Moscow. Delhi must engage with the region. Absolutely, it must. He says, while Poland and Central Europeans are wary of their West European counterparts, they are enthused by the strong support from the Anglo-American powers. London, presumably with US backing, has seized the Ukraine crisis to demonstrate Britain's continuing relevance to European security by signing several security agreements in North and Central Europe. The UK today is at the top of the most favored countries in Central Europe. The US, which is eager to see its regional partners take larger responsibility for their own security, welcomes the creation of new political military structures in Central Europe that both transcend and supplement NATO and the EU. And this is where what's important is Finland joining, Sweden should join shortly. The NATO has been in talks with India. And it's important to understand that, right? And here what you have, US, Japan arrive at deal on electric vehicle battery mineral to cut reliance to China, and Australia will have to come into play. India will have to come into play. India should be part of that, right? Instead of trying to go bogey with the party with for free of cheap cheap oil all the time from Russia. Actually, the prices have dropped 30%. I'm not even sure what we are doing in the corner of Russia, right? India trying to export weapons to African nations, and hopefully we do it diligently. We don't want to hit the same Myanmar issue as you just saw, where Pakistan is being rushed there to save their goat. Jet engine technology sharing offer big, says US Secretary of Air Force, and this is the biggest gimme. China ain't giving it to you. Russia ain't giving it to you. So, Jai Shankar Saab, wake up and smell that coffee, right? New Delhi summons top UK diplomat to register protests, and this is happening all over the place. And it's kind of churlish. We have to do that. But as this gentleman says, Prashant Jha, he's got it absolutely right. Outside India, India's battles may intensify. Every major social and political divide in India is manifesting itself on foreign shores. For example, the untouchable issue in Seattle, and how the caste system is playing out in the United States. This will intensify, or ironically enough, at a time of resurgent nationalism. And what's also happened is, you don't realize it, the Qatar right-wing Hinduism or Hindutva has made its presence felt in all these countries, and they are hitting back. So I would suggest to all these countries, the United States, Canada, UK, Germany, especially now, especially with what's happening with this Khalistan issue. There is a huge issue, a huge problem brewing on their shores, which will then feed back into India feed back into these countries. Very important to take note of, right? Need to build offensive, defensive space capabilities, Air Force Chief. Absolutely, but you can't do that without the United States. And finally, as Sujan Chindra writes, an incomplete resolution, US reaffirming India's position on Arunachal is welcome, but it needs to do more. Hey, on one side, Sunjan Chinoy, who is actually a fan of the Modi Club, suggests that always has his ears up when there's external interference. But hey, now you actually are looking for external interference on your side, because now you're pitting it on some resolution that the United States or the United Kingdom may have taken in terms of Tibet and China and way back when. But at the end of the day today, folks, what's important to note is you gotta realize which side your future rests, right? And that is what's critical. And in my view, it absolutely not resting with either Russia or China. And please remember, Russia is trying to force us into this corner. And we've got to resist with everything we've got, folks, with everything we've got. We can't give in, because China is using Russia to eat up our land and our self-belief and our desire to shine. Jai Hind and 3 cheers.